Chris Moses with Gospel Progressions University here, and everything is 2-5-1. That's what I'm here to talk to you about. 2-5-1, 2-5-1 chord progressions all over gospel, and they are so helpful with talk music, transition music, things like that. I think people struggle with this a lot. So let's do a simple chord progression, right? And say I wanted to, somebody was coming up for some announcements or something. It was a lull in the service, and all I'm going to focus on is my 2-5-1 chord progressions, but I'm going to do it in different ways. So let's take a simple line like this. We're going to play it in the key of F major, right? And this is essentially what it's going to be. 2 chord, and then we have the next chord is going to be a 5 chord. All right, and then 1. So I'm doing this pretty much the entire time, all right? But with some tricks, okay? So before I make it sound too clickbaity, there's a couple things I want you to get. You know what? We're in F major, right? And look at what the melody is doing. Not a lot of movement. You can't do that, but when you want to have talk music, you want to have things that are not distracting. So this is the bread and butter of what you're going to do, right? So G minor, and then you can have a F dominant, C dominant, or C dominant 7, okay? So G minor 7, C dominant 7, and a F major. In a 2-5-1 chord progression, a major 2-5-1 chord progression, you know it's major because the first chord is always, and I'm saying 2, but for the 2 chord, the first chord in progression is a 2 chord. It's almost always going to be a minor chord. All right, in most cases, it's going to be a 2 chord, a minor 2 chord that's going to resolve up, all right, a 4th to a dominant 7 chord. The 4th would be 1, 2, 3, 4, C. So up here, all right. So understand that before you click away. All right, I'm telling you something that you probably already know. It's important that you get this because this is the basic for everything that I'm going to do. Everything, no matter what you do, is going to be a 2-5-1 chord progression. So everything is 2-5-1. All right, some rendition of it. The one may not always be the same, but it's always a 2-5-1. So now we got tired of this, right? All right. You're not going to do this the entire time because you're going to sound like, the repetition's going to kill people. All right, 1. So you can try this. Now, again, when I play this thing, 2-5-1, 2-5-1. Again, say it with me. 2-5. I'll prove it to you. Right? 2. Okay. 5 and 1. Again. 2, 5, and 1. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. So what I'm doing are what's called chord substitutions, all right, or harmonic substitutions. A lot of times you hear keys like F major is related to D minor, which is related to A, and everything is related whenever you have keys. But you got to find the secret, so to speak, the secret sauce, and I'm about to tell you what it is right now. So to do our 2-5-1 chord progressions, right? We're looking at this here. The technical name for this is a minor 7th flat 5. Another name for it is called a half-diminished chord. So half-diminished chord, you got to think about that as another type of a minor chord. Just like remember I said in the 2-5-1 chord progression, understand, if you resolve into that 1, in the progression, you're progressing to the 1 chord, the 2 chord is going to be a minor, the 5 chord is dominant, the 1 chord is major. Again, the 2 chord is going to be some kind of minor chord, all right? Some kind of minor chord. And in this case, it happens to be a B minor 7th with a flat 5. This is B major, B minor, flat 5, and then now you're 7. Or a half diminished, because the full diminished would be, but the half diminished is when you just take the 7th, you don't diminish it, you just leave it. So you end up with this, what's called a half diminished. So this is your 2 chord. It's another type of minor chord. All right. And it may have been weird to you, me doing this and then 5-1 and calling it a minor chord. I'll get to that in a second. But technically, it all comes from the same thing. So your minor 7th, all right, flat 5 or half diminished. And then now we go now to this B flat. diminished chord. Now, don't let people tell you things that in music that I've had somebody tell me this, and I'm glad I didn't listen to them. And it's somebody I admire, somebody that I've played with for a long time. And they said to me, I call him out as a bass player friend of mine, you know, the diminished chords are always used to build things up to move forward. Well, I'm moving backwards. I'm going here and I'm moving down, see? And building back up. So don't let anybody say to you that something just works this one way. So we can use diminished chords going up or going back. It depends on what their function is. In this case, we have this diminished chord here. It's B flat or A sharp diminished. All right. This really is a 5 chord because we're going to resolve. And I'll show you again, 2, 5, 1. Let's look at A or A minor. Or A minor. All right. So we have A minor. The 1 is going to be A. The 2 is going to be B. 2, 3, 4, 5. When I say A minor, I'm just looking at A natural minor, just all the white keys. So again, 2, 5, 1. It may be a different type of 1, but we can play a 1 like this. And let's say 1, we take the 5. It's not just straight A minor, but you do have your third here. So we came from this, 2, all right, 5, 1, to this, 2, 5, 1. Again, A minor now. 2, 5, 1. It depends on where you want to go. Everything is revolving around a 2, 5, 1. All I did is that I took out the roots of the chord, or I exchanged the root for a chord for another root, another type of 2, 5, 1. If this lesson is too much for you, check out my website. I have my Black Gospel keyboard course for you, and it goes through everything from A to Z in turtle speed. So now we're going to go again, 2, 5, 1, but we're just replacing this chord here, this half diminished, or this chord here can be replaced because we have in the key of F major, we have a G minor, right? We can also do a G major too. Anytime you see, like I said, in most cases, not in every case, in this case, we can use G's a dominant chord, C's a dominant chord, and F major. But being that we can use a dominant chord for the 2 chord, we can give it a substitution for another type of 2 chord to resolve someplace else, like an A. 2, 5, 1, or just going on half steps. 2, 5, and then 1. And then we can continue that pattern again. 2, 5, 1. Say it with me. 2, 5, 1. 2, 5, 1. Let's start over. 2, 5, 5, 1. I'll show you again. I'll prove it to you. Now, we went through these, right? So this is 2, and I said this is 2, 2, all right, 5, 5, 1. So let's look at another key here. So in case you're confused, let's look at D minor. All right, so we have D minor, D natural minor. So if D is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have G, A rather, and we have 2 is E. 2, 5, 1. So now we have this again here. 2, 5, 5, all right, 5 and 1. So the whole progression would be something like this. 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 5, 1. Okay? Now, again, say with me. 2, 2. I'll prove it to you in a second because we're about to finish the 2, 5, 1. For G, it's going to be 2 for F because we know F major is F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F. 2, 5, and 1. Where I got this 2 from Everything I play is going to be built off of some kind of scale, all right? Some things just sound good, and there's the audible reason for why I would pick something. It just sounds good. But I'm here to show you, because how I learn and how I remember things is the why something works. Okay, this is good that it sounds good. It feels nice. You know, ooh, I love this sound. But what is, you know, what's the purpose of this? Or the purpose of it is to sound good, I think. But where did it come from? Okay, well, harmonically, you have another choice here. The reason this works so well is because everything, like I said, everything is connected. Everything is connected. It's like a chain. The way you weld things together is the 2-5-1. So again, if we look at that last 2-5-1 that I did, or the second to last one, right? I went from here, all right, or now I'm in D minor. So, and D minor is the harmony I can base it off, D natural minor, right? So because I have that, I don't have to have D natural minor. I can use another minor scale. I can take this that I speak about to the end. Right, so that would be D, E, F, G, A, B, C sharp, and F sharp, and D, right? So your D harmonic minor is the same thing as D major, right? But except that you're gonna take the F sharp and make it a natural F. So that can give you things like this. If you look at this chord carefully, everything, right? What did I play here? I don't know. Oh, here we go. So everything I played here comes from, or rather, so but being that the 2 chord again is a setup, 2 dominant, you just change the bass. I mean, I can play this chord here. I'm not going to play that. It doesn't really serve a purpose, but it emphasizes the minorness of what I'm doing. Again, 2, 5, 5, another still 5 chord, and then 1. And now I can change the, I can play that. Now I have a new 2 chord. All right, and then we have a 5 chord here. And then we can keep going with this. 5. I can set it up and continue to go. So, oh, you know what? When I play this, I gotta make it sound gospel, not too jazzy, because, you know, give it that gospel trill. So when you're playing your chords, keep in mind 2-5-1 chord progression. Keep in mind everything else I've taught you on this channel. Go look at my other videos. This will all make sense to you. You'll be able to piece things together. I can't do like teaching magic in one video that's, you know, about 15 minutes long. But if you look at my other videos, especially with the melodic minor scale and the 2-5-1 chord progressions, you will definitely get a better grasp of it. And if you still have trouble with that, well, I have great news for you. You can actually check out my website. As I mentioned before, I have my course available for download. It's called Black Gospel Keyboard for Beginners 101 Foundations, with over 6 hours of content, quizzes, in-depth lessons, in-depth explanations, everything that you'll ever need for the beginner. If you've never played gospel music before, I take you from the very beginning all the way through up until a point that you can actually start to understand and play the chords that I'm showing you here, and where it would make sense to you, you can be more effective in your playing. If you're a little bit further than that, I have good news for you. You're a little bit past the beginner stage and you're ready to move on to something greater. Well, I do have Gospel Musicians Advanced Air Training for you. That is a course that I have jam-packed with all my advanced techniques and tips, just like what I'm showing you here today, that will certainly take your playing to that level that you're looking for. I also have available my free guide. I will leave the link in the description for that as well. It's called What Do Pros Know That You Don't? God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.